Simply unbelievable. Hi, people out there who know me, Peace and Party, as a discusser of stuff that's to do mostly with intersex, but also trans comes into it. Gender queer issues come into it, and gender identity definitely come into it. What gender is, what intersex is, trying to tell people what intersex is, trying to make them aware that there are more than just males and females, trying to make them aware that a lot of people struggle with just being themselves, trying to talk and making it happen, getting through to people, and connecting with them and really talking with them so much on Facebook chat, Skype, Messenger throughout the years, talking to people, private messaging through YouTube, through Facebook, blah blah blah, forum sites and what have you. And the reality is, what I've just discovered from Facebook is that I go with my Gavin Coleman thing to go to OII, Organisation Intersex International, which was set up by Curtis Hinkle globally now. Okay, it's a global thing. It's starting to get its feet stuck in every country and every continent all over the planet. Curtis E. Hinkle did start up the group in the first place and has a group on Facebook. And about 2 weeks ago, I got banned from OII again without any warning and no formal letter to say that I've been banned for such and such a reason. So everybody who gets banned from somewhere, if they actually have done wrong, then they should be told what the wrong was, rather than just being, sort of virtually stamped out. And so it doesn't help. So basically, I've arrived on today, and yeah, there's a whole section now on the comment that Curtis E. Hinkle left 15 hours ago. So work out that, people, when that was. Curtis says, I apologise for the behaviour of Gavin. He has been removed from the list. It is so sad that one individual can disrupt and silence a whole group. Now that's the very well-formed sentence that Curtis E. Hinkle has actually written on their own page. So for a start, they apologise for the behaviour of Gavin. Well, they can't apologise for the behaviour of Gavin. He has been removed from the list. Highly, highly offensive to he. So after all I say, that I'm not a he. It's on my website of gavincoleman.com and everything. And then to say, it is so sad that one individual can disrupt and silence a whole group. I haven't disrupted anything on OII. As many people know, OII is for everybody to have their say. If you're talking about disruption, I have, and people also comment, I'm going to give you all the comments, people commented that I attacked personally people. The fact is, Louise Van Heen got me banned from Bodies Like Ours, which I've been a big member of for a long time, and people there know me generally as a very helpful person, and so that's where it happened here. This is all to do with Louise Van Heen, or Hein, whatever, from BLO, and I knew that they, not she, they would do their best to disrupt me, to be honest with you, on all the other intersex groups. So I'm left no choice but to set up my own OII and have basically people who are interested in sharing and caring, rather than, in OII here with Curtis E. Hinkle, you're sharing stuff and other members are saying, no, I'm not interested in t-shirt logos and stuff like that. So there's a lot of quick, rash comments made in general. Most of us are hormonally imbalanced, challenged with hormones, and it's only obvious that some of us are going to be extremely angry and aggressive at times, and others are not. And then those ones that are not will get extremely aggressive or angry in tone or in writing or whatever. It happens a lot. So I'll just say what other people said, and I'm going to put my fingers like this for things that I think are crap and really bullshit, and I'm going to put my fingers like that to stuff that I can possibly say is all right that was said. So Karen Angelica Gottschalk, which I have to just go with the name that, because I'm against that person, absolutely. I think they're a terrible disgrace and they're very ugly people in the mind, in my opinion. They say, thank you, Curtis. I do so hope that the people who are making a positive contribution here, and who left you to Gavin will come back. Okay, well, there was very few people. There was 2 members that left, in fact, from a 203 strong membership on OII Facebook, where the whole world is connected, and there's more than 200 intersex people in the world. Why aren't they all on OII? Possibly because they've just discovered that OII on this particular page is not friendly. Just like BLO has not become friendly, just like so many places have not become friendly. And who are the people who are not friendly? People like Karen Angelica Gottschalk, you know. Then Sue Campbell Reid says, thank you. Well, I'd say it's ridiculous to ban somebody like that. Then Della Grace Volcano comes in, and this is a good one, says, I need to ask, what has Gavin done this time that he hasn't done all along? I think it's very important we have some ground rules about who gets excluded and why. And I think that's an excellent statement and question which won't be answered. Because then Karen Angelica Gottschalk comes in and says that is the kind of thing that would be useful to have as a note. If Facebook open groups can have notes functionality, IMHO. Then Della Grace Volcano says, and I find this good too, I too find Gavin extremely challenging, but fear that excluding him might be like throwing gasoline on a bushfire. Well, it won't be like throwing gasoline on a bushfire. I am going to take over, yeah. I don't think that OII here on Facebook has been particularly friendly. People have come up in with suggestions, and I'm glad to come across to this person, Cabral Soldado Heroyoko, whatever. And people are saying, welcome, you know, welcome to the group. I started to say that down somewhere else to somebody else. I said, welcome to the group. And I'm glad that I do start off things rather than, like, you know, disrupt things and silence a whole group. I in fact get people talking. And if Curtis was to have a brain now for this one, like you usually do, Curtis, if you had a brain for this one, you'd actually realize that I don't silence groups. I get people talking. And I'm actually extremely polite in general. But forum groups are extremely difficult. We don't know how we're coming across. It's just text we're reading and stuff like that. And I do use caps and people think I'm screaming. And then Gina OII Australia, who is not a good person, says, I guess personal attacks and vilification might be a basic reason for any group, which is a good statement to make. I think so too. So why then did Louise Van Heen, on open chat of the whole group, then I was talking to a Moroccan guy, and I was talking to a French person, and I was a Canadian French, I think, and then I was speaking in English to others, and I spoke in Spanish to another, blah, 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 at one point on the OII group chat. And Louise Van Heen came in and disrupted that and started telling people in the chat, in French even, saying that, you know, don't listen to this person, this guy is not good, is, you know, forget exactly the wording, but tried to put the people off. My God, twice that happened. So, talking about personal attacks, there's no reason why Louise Van Heen needed to personally attack me then. There was no need for Louise Van Heen to personally attack me on Bodies Like Ours forum group, which they did do. And they even attacked most XXYs with information that wasn't true, and I took them up on it. And all the other XXYs on BLO at the time didn't like what they were saying either, you know. So I'm basically taking people on. I don't mind if you virtually, you know, knock me around, you know, and kick me off, you know, whatever. You know, I don't mind, because it just proves to me that who would want to bother themselves to truly be involved in any kind of discussion group that is actually like a children's playground, with these people being the bullies, and then these people being the people thinking that the school playground is being ruined by Gavin Coleman. You must be joking me. So anyway, then Bob Waters says, wise and sensitive stewardship, much thanks. I mean, Bob Waters has just come in. Who is Bob Waters? I don't know Bob Waters. But Bob Waters thinks this is great. Wow. Then Della Grace Volcano actually asks another few questions. Says, okay, sure, but why now? Why does he get reinstated and then excluded? Good question, Della Grace. I haven't seen any new personal attacks. And by the way, any old personal attacks were just simply against Louise Van Heen and Karen Angelica Gottschalk, right? because they are menaces, if you ask me, complete menaces. But there you go. And then Delegate continues to say, all I'm saying really is that for any of us to feel safe, we need to know what the mechanisms are for exclusion. Excellent point. Where the line is between personal attacks and disagreement. Excellent point. We can all express ourselves in very strong ways at times. Excellent point. Brilliant. And then Gina OII Australia says, Del, I understand the attacks were removed by the moderator, not me as some suppose. Why now? Well, I guess the straw that the camel's back argument is relevant. I understand various attempts and requests were made to have the behaviour moderated. I'm aware of people leaving and being too afraid to post because of the hostility. I guess it's a balance of the right to a voice and the right to a safe space. I would like to think that OI might provide a safe online space for intersex voices, and personal attacks and vilification are not a part of that. Well then, Gina OII Australia, I'd like to ask you then seriously about personal attacks. How about talking to Louise Van Heen about the personal attacks made in public on open chat on OII, disgraceful behaviour, and we'll ask the members there. We will have a court hearing on these things in the future. Yeah, so just sit easy for a while, but this is going to hit you hard, people, because you are responsible for OII here, okay? And you'd like to think that OII might provide a safe online space for intersex voices, okay? And personal attacks and vilification are not a part of that. Well, they have been a part of that. And also, poor old Maya Posh, regardless of their emotional state of mind, which I think is also a bit off, but we've got to respect that and accommodate that. And they came up with brilliant ideas for t-shirt logos and stuff like that. And Pablo Neira came in and said, I don't care about t-shirt logos, but that's only Pablo. You know, there's a whole bunch of us out there. There's only 200 members now. And you lost 2 members because they didn't like me, not because I was being disruptive. So anyway, Angela Shoulder, who I don't know, comes in, but I did send her a chainmail message. They say, I do remember seeing some weird posts and comments in the group, but have no idea anymore by who. So his inappropriate behaviour was not very impressive to me. Again, Angela, I'm not a he, so try and get that clear. You remembered some weird posts. Well, technically to you, I'm probably weird, all right? But, you know, not to everybody. Yeah, exactly. And comments in the group. Yes, I made comments that weren't answered, ignored practically, to people, and they didn't respond. That's not funny, not even in private post. So they are ignoring it, and they've been doing it for ages, but I don't care. This is not my way. It's only their way. I'm just saying I'm against OII in general, especially in this Facebook group, and I am against a lot of the OII policies as well. And I've been basically saying and putting my foot down and saying, no, I'm not happy with that. I don't want to be associated with that bad language. It was really badly put in one of the policies, talking about that non-intersex people shouldn't have a voice, basically. Disgraceful. So Angela Shoulder says, so his inappropriate behaviour was not very impressive to me. Well, that's fine. Thank you for your opinion, Angela. But my inappropriate behaviour for a start. But also, what inappropriate behaviour? Thank you. I'm not saying I don't have any inappropriate behaviour, but I'd just like to know from your end of things, Angela, seeing that you've got a computer and a left mouse button, you could maybe find this video on YouTube, which you've probably found already, and you could just sort of stick a comment in there. I'm not going to attack you. You must be joking me. But if you want to test that, just write a comment and we'll see if I'll attack you, because I more than likely won't, because I generally don't, you know. But you wouldn't know that because you don't know me. I won't even read Angela Shoulder's next point because it doesn't really matter. Karen Angelica Gottschalk, my understanding is that it is the admins of the page in question. Okay. Telegrace Volcano comes in with another great question. Who are the administrators of this page? Curtis, Gina, Karen? Why is it so difficult to discover this basic info? Excellent point, Telegrace, because the reality is there's a lot of non-talk when you really need something. You know, it's a lot of people there who are just putting on what they feel they want to put on and to look good in their light. You know, that's the reality. It's not a support group forum. It really isn't. But it is a sharing place, yes. And it's gotten out of hand in the last few months. That's why I've been standing really strong on this point. And I don't mind getting the shit thrown in my face, because it is necessary to take down some of these leaders. Gina OII Australia, I do not trust that